are acting, thinking, feeling, and physiology. Each of these components is present in any behavior.
So the wheels on the car describe the four basic pieces of this total behavior idea?
That's right. As you can see, the front wheels that steer the car are actions and thinking patterns. Our emotions and physiology are represented by the rear wheels.
Can you give us an example of total behavior?
Most of us are familiar with the polygraph, the so-called lie detector. The polygraph was developed as the result of Dr. Carl Jung's insights into total behavior, although he didn't use that term. The polygraph measures the physiological responses of a person undergoing questioning. Think with me now of what goes on when a question is asked, "Did you kill that man?" You process this question through your senses and compare it with what you know of your actions on the night in question. If you know that you did the foul deed and yet answer that you are innocent, this will produce a conflicting emotion within you that will trigger a measurable physiological response. This response can be recorded by the polygraph. So your answer is your action, what you said, your thinking is the awareness of your involvement, the emotion is the inner turmoil you feel as you are questioned, and your heart rate and perspiration are the physiological responses that can be measured. In this situation, the suspect has the choice of telling the truth or telling a lie.
So this is where the choice part of choice theory enters the picture.
That's so right. In so many situations, we need to keep in mind that we do have choices in the ways that we respond to what life hands us. Each component of behavior is named by its most recognizable component. Let's use a common example of a person in depression. Now, please be aware that this is a grossly simplified example and needs the wisdom and compassion of good pastoring to apply the principles involved. Now, let's look at the choices available. Speaking from personal experience, one of my choices is to be depressed, to just sit on the back wheels of my miserable emotional state and continue depressing. I have two other choices on the front wheels of my behavioral car. The one that is most likely to be helpful to me is the acting component. I can take a walk with my wife. I can work on a project. I can call a friend. Any one of these actions is going to help me change my thinking, and my thinking patterns might then shift from negative, depressing self-talk to something more helpful. As my thinking becomes more positive, my physiology changes, and my emotions lift away from being depressed. Let me emphasize again that this is a very simplistic approach to a very complex problem for the person who is depressed. Let's remember our initial goal of not putting burdens on people that they cannot carry.
Do you really mean it when you say that our choices can change the world?
Yes, I do mean it. Consider the example just given of the depressed person. A choice to continue depressing is going to affect other family members and friends in ways that may color their experience of life in the world. A person who chooses to work to overcome depression becomes a much more positive force for good in his relationships and in his part of the world. Thus, in a way, he changes the world.
Thank you for that tour of the chart. I can see what you mean when you said that this is just an overview. There's a lot here that needs further study. This is Monica Hannon, signing off.